Good afternoon, everybody. What's going on, Facebook world? What's happening? It's your main man, Shabaka Amin, coming at you live and direct. I want to welcome you all to the My God Body media platform. Let me tell you about My God Body media platform. My God Body media platform is a media platform dedicated to inspiring a health, success, lifestyle, as well as mindset that acknowledges God's presence, intelligence, and power in our body. You know, many of you know my background, and if you don't know my background, I've got 24 years in the personal training industry. I'm a health success coach, plant-based personal trainer, Charlotte's first plant-based and vegan personal trainer. So I've got a lot of experience in helping people become who they really want to be. And so that's what the My God Body media platform is all about. Again, welcome to the media platform dedicated to inspiring a health success mindset and living style that acknowledges and supports God's presence, intelligence, and power in our body. So often we set out on a mission to transform our body. And of course, considering that it's January 20th, to be exact, it's the beginning of the year, so many of you are going to embark upon a mission to become who you really want to be physically. And I think that's great. I think that's wonderful. I think that's amazing. I've been dedicated to supporting people in accomplishing that mission for 24 years, as I said. So my God body is really about, when you think about what it's going to take to motivate you, what is it going to take to inspire you to change? What is it going to take to increase your health success habits while decreasing your health failure habits? It's like, what is your why? What would motivate you? What would inspire you to want to be better? What would inspire you? So when you think about it, the whole My God Body idea came forth just on one level. I'm a spiritual person, not necessarily a religious person, but I'm a spiritual person. I know I didn't make myself. And for those of you watching, regardless of what your religion is a vehicle that allows for us to have a union with our source. Whether you use the word God or whether you use the word Allah, regardless of the term, the most important thing is we know we didn't make our bodies. We didn't make ourselves. So my God body is all about basically having a mindset and living style, a health success mindset and living style that acknowledges God's presence, intelligence, and power in our body. But in acknowledging God's presence, intelligence, and power in our body, we want to back that up with a living style, because it's like, okay, most people recognize and acknowledge that God is within them. And so when we think about health success, when we think about our desires to be healthy and being successful, for most of us who are spiritually minded or even religious, we acknowledge God in all ways. We want to acknowledge God in all ways, and we want to make sure that whatever we're pursuing in terms of whatever area we want to be successful in, we want to acknowledge God's presence. And so when we look at our body, none of us have made our body. We recognize that God not only inhabits our body, but God's presence, intelligence, and power has made this marvelous spacesuit. I like to call the human body a spacesuit. Of course, it's a vehicle that allows us to travel through space. We can walk, we can run, we can move through space here on Earth because of this spacesuit called the human body. So, my God body, again, is all about a health, success, mindset, and living style that acknowledges God's presence, intelligence, and power. I would say for me personally, there's a lot of motivation, a lot of inspiration when I acknowledge the fact that, wow, I'm still alive. God's presence has a function in my body. And oftentimes people set out on a journey to become who they really want to be. They set goals, they set New Year's resolutions. But oftentimes, when we think about this culture in which we live, when we think about becoming fit, and even when we look at the science, there's no acknowledgement of God's presence, intelligence, and power. So, this isn't a religious platform as so much as the truth be told, whatever we want to do with our body in terms of improving it, we've got to we it would be wise, let me say this, it would be wise to acknowledge God's presence, intelligence, and power. Now, there's levels to that. So what I want to do is, first of all, mention welcome to the My God Body platform. And really, today's agenda is really just to open it up as a Q&A. To open it up. If somebody watching now and you want to come on live, I'll bring you on screen. If you have any questions, some of the viewers right now might be focused on becoming who they really want to be. If you're somebody who's watching and your focus right now in 2022 is to make sure you become the person you really want to be physically, then this is a good platform to follow and participate in and enter into a discussion where you can learn. And again, that health, success mindset and living style is what it's all about. When we think about wanting to survive, wanting to thrive and stay alive, especially in this pandemic era where a lot of people have felt a lot more vulnerable around their mortality. A lot of people have felt a lot more vulnerable. So it's important to make sure that we deliberately pursue health success. What is health success? What is health success? Health success is living in a biological state of metabolic health. I'm going to say that again. I define health success as living in a biological state of metabolic health. So, as I mentioned, I've got 20 years, actually now 25 years. This is the 25th year in personal training industry, and I'm doing a whole lot more online coaching for those of you who want support online. I have a health success coaching service. If you're interested in that, you can leave a comment. You can put coaching, health success coaching, in the comment thread. But let me share some of the things that I focus on when I coach and train customers. And one of the most important aspects of transformation that has been left out, totally left out of the equation. When you think of success, there's always, success leaves clues. There are patterns. There is a formula for being successful or having achievement in any area of life. So when you think about wanting to transform, when you think about wanting to achieve success or improve metabolic health, if you think about wanting to improve your body image, if you want to become more aesthetically attractive, if you want the body image that when you look in the mirror, you like what you see, you admire what you see, regardless of the results, you must understand that there is a formula. Now, in the fitness industry, basically, the whole emphasis has been on if you embark upon this journey to become who you really want to be physically, if you want to get more fit, you got to start exercising in a certain way or exercise more. You have to start eating in a certain way. So, those are methods, and those are important methods. And it's important to concentrate on meals that provide, you know, the type of nutrition that's valuable to the human body. What is that type of nutrition? Foods that have a high nutrient to calorie ratio, fiber rich, um, phytonutrient rich, or I should say micronutrient rich. And when I say micronutrient rich, meaning high in vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and phytonutrients. These foods are plant-based foods. So, of course, your meals as a method for transformation play a major role in whether you're going to succeed or fail. Um, your movement, how you move, the quality of the way you move. We call it exercise. Exercise is a method for transformation. So, your meals and your movement, those two things are essential. They are methods that need to be considered. Of course, we're all familiar with that. We've been programmed in America to, when we embark upon this mission to become who we really want to be, we need to focus on the way in which we're eating, and we need to focus on exercise, your meals and your movement. But there's an X factor. There is an X factor. And I'm gonna have for those of you maybe watching right now, feel free to leave a comment. Let me know if my audio is, if you can hear me well. If my audio is good. I appreciate that. I could test it myself, but I do not want to create that echo effect. So if you're watching live right now, just leave a comment to let me know that I can hear you well. I would really appreciate that. So I want to share something with you, as you go about your mission to become who you really want to be physically. What people fail to realize is that when you set a goal, I'm gonna bring an image on screen just so you can really see what I'm talking about. All right, here we go. So again, traditionally the programming is, when you set out and embark on this journey to become who you really want to be physically, to transform your body, whether it's losing weight, toning and firming your body, any change you want to make to your body cosmetically, as well as any improvement to your metabolic health status, is going to involve making changes in the way that you eat, and making changes in the area of exercise, whether it's exercising a little more or just getting started if you're not in the habit of exercising. So your meals and your movement are methods that of course have their place, but one of the most important discoveries I've made in my entire journey is that people fail to realize and underuse their mind. And so a major component to my training and coaching method is mindset training. And here's why. So if you look at the picture, you see a picture of the human brain. You see a picture of the human brain. So when people set goals, let's say you set your New Year's resolutions, and hopefully you can you see my mouse? See that cursor? So if you look at the very top part of the brain, this top part or layer of the brain is called the neocortex, as you can see. So whenever you decide that you want specific results, when you contemplate the types of changes you want to see happen with your body, when you think about how you want to improve your functional fitness in terms of what you can do with your body, um, those decisions or those goals, like your goals, are set using the neocortex. And the cool thing about that is, you get to decide. You have a choice. You get to choose to become who you really want to be. However, if you are setting goals, the neocortex is basically setting goals at the conscious mind level. And what I mean by that is you set goals. You know what you want to become physically. You know what results you want. However, you're doing so in a conscious mind state using the neocortex. But what most people don't know is that if your goals don't filter down into this part of the brain, this is the limbic brain center. And the limbic brain center is referred to uh, as the emotional brain. We have, as part of this center, two brain centers. One's called the amygdala. And basically, we know scientifically that if you have a goal, it's set here in the neocortex. But if your goal does not become emotionalized, if you don't have an image in your mind that represents who you want to be and there's a strong feeling about it, that means that you have not engaged your limbic brain. And if you haven't engaged your limbic brain, which is in the literature referred to as an emotional brain, your motivation is not going to be high. You're just not going to have a passion. You're not going to have a hunger to make the changes, the necessary changes. Increase your health success habits, whether it's in the area of eating specific types of foods or whether it's showing up at the gym more days a week, or even engaging more challenging workouts. So, in essence, my point is your brain plays a major role in becoming who you really want to be physically. Now, the fascinating thing about it is the whole focus when it comes to the body is about neck down. People want to improve their appearance, so the whole focus is neck down. Here's the irony: this part of the body is at the very top from the neck up. Obviously, the brain sits over top the body. Of course, it's encased in the skull, but from a positioning standpoint, the brain is on top of the body, where the part of the body, your biology, where you want to see the change. Well, your brain runs the show. Your brain is on top, and that position indicates its function and also priority, meaning you set out on this journey and you go right into gym membership, working out, or hiring a personal trainer, and you have your goals set. But guess what? Because you have not engaged the limbic brain center and the cerebellum, now the cerebellum is called the subconscious brain. I'm going to say that again. The cerebellum is actually referred to as the subconscious brain. So what happens is you're in a state of mind when you set goals that's called the conscious mind. And we know scientifically that the conscious mind is only responsible for 5% of what we do and don't do. Whereas your subconscious mind controls 95% of what you do and don't do. So let's say, for instance, you're in a habit of eating poorly. And most of the time, when that happens, when you consciously know you shouldn't be eating a certain way and you go and do it anyway, and you can't, it's an impulsive behavior, it's an automated. Well, that automated habit, eating habit, is because it's part of the subconscious mind. So, in essence, my point is this: I have an upcoming free training called Future Body Now. And in this training, I'm going to talk about it's a webinar that's a mindset and meditate. Well, it's actually a mindset training program. Future Body Now, the challenge will be a mindset and meditation training program. But in the free webinar, I'm going to deep dive into this whole understanding that relates to the role of the mind, the conscious mind, the subconscious mind, the role of the brain. Your brain runs the show. And so, one of the distinctions, one of the things I want to share with you is you can have goals, you can have aspirations, body aspirations or physical goals, specific results that you want to bring about with your body. Again, that's all neck down. And you set your goals using a part of the brain called the neocortex. Setting your goals here, but you're setting goals in what's called a conscious mind. Actually, you're setting goals in a beta brainwave state. So what happens is one of the practices that I've learned to do on a regular basis, because a lot of people are amazed and they're shocked that I'm 50 years young. And a major, I won't call it a secret, but a major practice that I've used is whenever I've set a goal, I don't stop with setting the goal, which is more of a description. I'll actually use images, I'll actually use pictures. Now, pictures have a function, especially when you look at specific pictures on a regular basis. Those pictures become images that are fed to the subconscious mind. Now, they get into the subconscious mind because of a practice that is called meditation. How is that so? Again, when you're setting a goal, you're in what's called a beta brainwave state. Like right now, I'm externalized. My awareness is in engaging with the sensory world. I can see the screen. I'm talking to you, but I'm connected with the external world. So my senses are picking up visual information because I'm looking at the screen. So that's all conscious mind activity. I'm in a beta brainwave state. So when you set your goals, you're in a beta brainwave state. But then there's a state of mind called alpha brainwave state. So I'm going to close my eyes. So when I close my eyes, slow down my breathing, I can actually see images because I made a choice to focus on my ideal. I can see pictures or images of who I am physically. Now, I said who I am physically because, see, language is important. Now, I say all that to say when you go from setting a goal to actually using pictures, see, your words, a goal set, written goals are stand-ins. They're words that are stand-ins for images. See, ultimately, you want to look a certain way. There's an image that represents who you want to be physically. And it's important to feed that image to your brain. So it's not only important to feed biology like food, plant-based, it's important to feed your brain images or pictures that represent exactly how you want to look. You have to constantly feed your brain. Now, what happened is, which I'm going to really deep dive into a discussion when Future Body Now is launched. I'm days away from launching Future Body Now, upcoming webinar. It's a mindset training webinar for becoming who you really want to be physically. I'm going to talk about the role of the brain. We have three brains. I'm going to talk about the role of the three brains in the transformation process. I'm going to talk about states of consciousness. States of consciousness refer to, in other words, they can look at the energy or brain waves and determine the types of states of mind that you're in. You're in a conscious mind state when you're in a beta brainwave state. But once you close your eyes and you slow your breathing down, now you can go into an alpha brainwave state. So your flow of consciousness, see the mouse right here? The cursor is on this phrase, flow of consciousness. Let's use the word consciousness interchangeably with awareness. Your awareness goes from the external world to your imagination. Now you get to do some real work. So I wanted to share that a major part of your success, and this is probably not known to you, has to do with how well you use and engage your brains. Now, I know this because I've got 25 years experience with meditation. And I have to be honest. If you don't fully know how to engage the various brain centers, you're not going to be as motivated. You won't be able to make lasting change. You'll start, but then you'll stop. And so all of that is because all of that is indicative of not knowing how to train your brain, not knowing how to communicate with your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind has all the power that you need to make the changes you want to make. 'Cause a lot of it is habit change, but there's also, you can have goals, but you also need to change your physical identity. I'm going to stop there because I don't want to, spoiler alert, I don't want to I don't want to tell you too much. I want you to participate in the upcoming webinar called Future Body Now, where I'm going to really dive into the science, because you're trying to have a successful year. You don't, for those of you, who fail to become who you really wanted to be physically. And I don't mean failure in a permanent sense. I'm just saying that in 2021, did you become who you really wanted to be physically? And if you weren't successful, there are reasons why. Now, on the surface, you might relate those reasons to conditions and circumstances in your life. But remember, you had goals at the beginning of the year in January of 2021, and you had roughly 365 days to become who you really wanted to be physically. And the reason why you weren't successful had nothing to do with your body, had everything to do with the way in which you used or failed to use your mind and your brain, specifically. So there's a way to train your brain and communicate with your subconscious that ensures that you will be successful. So if you have any questions, feel free to, if you have any questions or if you have a comment, I just wanted to share those things with you. This is the latest, this is the most powerful way to ensure that you become who you really want to be. Goal setting isn't enough. Haven't you figured that out? If you have been year after year setting New Year's resolutions, and by the end of the year or even halfway through found that you haven't made progress, it's only because you're unaware of the full role and power. Like, you have all of this equipment right here. They say the brain is 3 pounds, approximately 3 pounds. You have all of this technology in your skull, and you're nowhere near. If you set a goal, if you wrote down your goals, that's just the first, that's a tiny step in the process. It's got to go deeper. And there are three brains that we have, and there are three primary states of mind that correspond to brainwave states. And the three primary brainwave states that I'm going to concentrate in my upcoming webinar are beta brainwave state, or the beta mind state, which is when you set goals or you establish and set your New Year's resolutions, you're in a beta brainwave state. You're at the beta level of mind. Then there's the alpha brainwave state, when you can bring your awareness at a deeper level where your alpha brain waves become more prominent. And then there's theta. Theta brain waves are the types of brain waves that go throughout the entire brain. And these are the brain waves that indicate that you're communicating with your subconscious mind. Once who you really want to be physically is communicated to your subconscious mind, and you repeat that, and that's a training in of itself. Once you know how to communicate who you really want to be physically to your subconscious, to that cerebellum part of the brain, which is back there, this is considered the subconscious brain. Once that information that you call goals or who you want to be physically, once that becomes here and here, the limbic brain and the cerebellum, oh my God, you're a force. You're an unstoppable force. And you will do whatever it takes, habits wise. You'll make the necessary changes, and you will become the person you really want to be physically. So if you're interested in my upcoming webinar called Future Body Now, leave a comment, hashtag Future Body Now in the comment thread under this video. I'm going to close out. I've got a personal training client to train shortly, and I wanted to welcome you to the My God Body media platform dedicated to inspiring a health success mindset and living style that acknowledges and supports God's presence, intelligence, and power in our body. Thanks for joining me this afternoon. And if you found this presentation valuable and informative, please let me know. Leave a comment below if you have any questions, if you're interested in online health success coaching, or if you're interested in one-on-one personal training. I'm available. I care about helping people become who they really want to be. I've got 24 years in the game, and I'm doing a type of training that most personal trainers are just nowhere near remotely familiar with. And I've got a lot of experience. I've done corporate meditation and mindfulness training. But as it relates to becoming who you really want to be physically and transformation, it's so important to participate in my upcoming Future Body Now webinar. I'm going to take you through what I call work-in sessions. You know, you work out your body, but I'm going to teach you how to work in your brain. God bless you. Thanks for watching and tuning in. And make sure you share this with other people that you care about. And I'm here for you. I'm excited about the types of things you're going to learn. Make sure you follow me. Make sure you leave a comment. Future Body Now, express interest, leave a comment or a question if you want to participate in the upcoming Future Body Now webinar. Take care. God bless. And I will talk to you soon.